We welcome back to the show Candi Staton. So how's it going, Candi?
It just couldn't be better. Everything is so great right now. We have a brand new record coming out May the 13th, and we just finished that, and we just finished the film Muscle Shoals, and it's out, and it's doing quite well. And I just got inducted into the Alabama Music Hall of Fame, so I'm fine.
Oh, wonderful. So what can you tell us about that, being inducted into the Alabama Music Hall of Fame? What does that mean to you?
It means everything. I was born in Alabama. I was married. My first marriage, a couple of marriages were in Alabama. I was married to Clarence Carter. We got married in Alabama. My 5 kids were born in Alabama. My first record was made in Alabama at Fame Records and Muscle Shoals with Rick Hall. And so it's like a 360-degree turn for me. It's like the circle is I finished everything right there in Alabama, and I was rewarded for it. And it couldn't have come at a better time, you know. I thought it should have been much, much earlier in my career, but, you know, I guess it's God's timing.
Well, as long as you get there in the end,
yeah.
That's all that matters, isn't it?
You know what? I was so thankful that there were like 2 or 3 people that were already passed on, and their families had together their awards for them. And I was so thankful that I was there to get my own.
Who else was there at the awards ceremony?
It was John Paul White of the Civil Wars. He was the master of ceremony. He was the MC that night, and it was Spooner Odom and Rick Hall. Actually, Rick inducted me, so Rick Hall made sure that I was inducted correctly, and he was like a grandfather over everything. It was Dan Penn, the guy that made I'm Your Puppet. He wrote that. And Do Right Woman. Spooner Odom, he was a keyboard player. He's the one that came up with the riff for Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You. Charlie Monk, Hank Lachlan, and Sun Ra.
So when you go to one of these ceremonies, do you know you're going to get the award, or do you find out on the night?
No, you know.
You know.
You know, they let me know months before. Matter of fact, it was in the paper. It was supposed to be there. It was supposed to be in February. I mean, in January, but it was postponed to February. So it was all in the paper and stuff. But they had to postpone it until the last of February. And it was a wonderful night. The governor was there, and all the mayors for the surrounding cities were there. The congressmen, the senators, the state senators were there. And just loads and loads of people, you know, representing.
No pressure then, Candi.
No, you know what? Oddly enough, I didn't ever get nervous.
No? Oh.
No, I didn't even get nervous. I didn't get butterflies. I wasn't, you know, a lot of times when you see that many people and all those higher, those people like the governor, and you get a little nervous, you know, you
get butterflies.
Dignitaries. But I didn't get nervous. I was like, just another date for me.
Well, you're most probably used to it by now.
Yeah, I think what really, really did it helped, too, because I just came off of a 27-day tour with the Temptations. So I was used to being in front of a big crowd, so, and people. Yeah. So that helped a lot. I was just, kind of conditioned.
What was it like being on tour with the Temptations again, and where was the tour?
Well, the tour was, we went all over the place. We went to Liverpool, Manchester. We went to Rio. I'm just off the top of my head. Stevenson. Let's see, where else did we go? We went to so many places. It was like 19 shows. And it was wonderful.
How does that work then? Are you there just for the day? Or do you have a couple of days in the city that you're going to be performing in?
No, we just stayed right there at the hotel, and we would come back at night after we finished. We only moved like 3 times at the beginning in the Butlins, we moved there. We did the first three dates there, and then we came to Liverpool, and we stayed there for 2.5 weeks.
So you were very well received in Liverpool then?
Oh, very much so. We were sold out.
Right. And of course the Temptations are such an iconic band.
Oh, wow.
What's one of your favourite songs by the Temptations?
I think Papa Was a Rolling Stone. I actually redid it. I'm going to put it on my next record.
Okay.
Papa Was a Rolling Stone. I did it with the late David Williams. Used to play with Michael Jackson. He was his rhythm guitar player. He passed away about 3 years ago. And I was the last person he played with, and we came up with an arrangement for Papa Was a Rolling Stone. He came up with the idea. He said he thought it would be great that a woman would do it, you know. He said no woman has ever tried to do that. So I said, hey, let's try something, and we did. And so it will be on my next record.
Oh, well, we'll look forward to that. And in the meantime, I have two really nice new songs from you that I'm going to play on the show tonight. Eternity and Ain't Easy to Love. What can you tell us about these two songs?
Oh, my goodness. I wrote Eternity for someone's wedding about 6 years or 7 years ago. And I never really sung it at that wedding. But I just love it. And it's such a wedding song. And I'm predicting that it's going to be a big wedding song from now on. You know, people would download it on iTunes for their wedding.
It's very beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's a beautiful song. And, I wrote that for a friend of mine's wedding, and I never went to the wedding, so I didn't sing it.
Well, that's quite a nice present.
Yeah, it was. Ain't Easy to Love. That's by John Paul White of the Civil Wars and Jason Isbell, who is an Americana singer. They are both very big in their field. John has he's received 4 Grammys for his work, and so I was so blessed to have them come and join me on that song. It's so nice. I love it.
What was it like working together? Did you all go in the recording studio at the same time, or was it recorded separately?
No, we were all there together. That was the great part about it. We all joined together, and we were there, and we kind of, vibed off of each other. And they're such great artists to work with. I just love both of them. And John and I did it at the induction together. Jason wasn't there, so John and I just did it together, the two of us, and it turned out really good. It's going to be on public television here in the States, so, the whole induction ceremony will be on TV. So they took it that night, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it too, when it eventually comes over here, when I can have a look.
Yeah.
Do you prefer, when you record something, if you're recording with somebody else, that they're there with you in the studio? Is it easier?
One way or the other. Because I've done it several times. I've done it with, I also did it with Randy Owens of Alabama. We did a country version of it, which won't get on this record, but I'm planning on putting it on the next record we have out. And it's going to be another version of I Ain't Easy to Love. And it speaks so well of our lives, how we always look for someone perfect, but there is no perfect people in the world. But, none of us are really easy to love at all sometimes. We get kind of cranky. And so it really, I can't emphasize it enough, that I'm so glad I did it 2 times, and I'm so honored that Randy Owens did it with me. And but since this is like an Americana record, it didn't fit on this particular one, but the next one it will.
Of course, you haven't long been in the UK, but one of my questions was going to be, when are you next planning on returning to the UK?
I'll be coming in May. I think it's called a Happy Festival. I'm supposed to appear on the Happy Festival there. I think it's called a Happy Festival. I'm not sure what it's called, but I know it's in May.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be coming back to London to do that. And I'm going to Germany, Frankfurt, to do another festival. So I'll be coming back through London to do another festival. So we're working on several other festivals for this year. And I'm always there. You know I'm always there. I love the UK. I love Great Britain. I feel so at home there. I love the people. I love the response. I love the way they have embraced me. You know, you go where you want it. It's like they want me, you know, and you go there because it's like they really love me. They love my music, and I welcome it so much every time they say, well, you got another show here, you got another show in London. I say, well, you know what? I'm getting older, and I don't know how long I'm going to be around, but as long as I'm around, I'll be doing the UK.
Well, that's fantastic to hear because we love you, Candi.
Well, I know I love you guys, too.
This is an interesting question. What piece of advice can you give for young, aspiring singers?
Don't get over anxious, and don't sign contracts without an attorney. Don't get over anxious and feel like that you got to just be discovered. Like now, they're seasons, and your seasons will change, and sometimes you're in a learning curve, and if you get out there too soon, even though you're very, very talented and you can really, really sing, you get in a learning curve, and you stay there until that learning curve is over. Once the learning curve is over, then you know that you've arrived to another level. So I advise young people to just be very patient and be very prayerful, and to know who is in your, don't just pull anyone in your inner circle, because there are a lot of crooks out there, and there are a lot of contracts that read really good on the first 2 pages, but look at the third page.
Look at the small print.
They'll take everything back that they gave you. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, isn't it? I mean, it must be very hard when you first get into it, and all these people are offering you different contracts, different deals. Yeah,
I learned the hard way. You know, I was ripped off so many times with contracts, and I'm thinking I'm supposed to get rewarded with royalties and stuff, and they end up getting all the money, you know. So that's one reason we're doing it ourselves this time. Maybe we'll get some money out of this record. We'll get blessed from this record, because our record label is called Baracco Records, and we've had it for like 25, 30 years, but we've never put a secular record on it. We've always done gospel. We've got 13 gospel records on it, but this will be our first release on our own label with Sony Red. Sony Red is distributing for us.
So these songs are all part of an album then, yeah?
Yeah, it's like 14 songs on that album, and we're going to also give you 2 bonus ones, and so you'll get a lot in it. It's like an anthology. It's like the life I've lived and the disappointments I've gone through and the hurts and the tears, the pain that you go through with breaking up with relationships or getting into new relationships. It's like a storyboard that you go through all of your life. That's why we call it Life Happens. And on the back of it is going to be a collage of old pictures that you will never see ever again anywhere. You've never seen them, and you never will see them again other than on that album. They're my personal stash of old pictures. The first time I met Clarence Carter, we looked a mess, and you probably laugh when you see it, but in a little old club at Birmingham, Alabama, you know, and walking the beach right after I did Young Hearts Run Free, you know, I'm trying to get some frustration off and relax a little bit out in California. It's just a lot of wonderful pictures. Picture on there with me and Bobby Womack and just friends of mine. And one picture it's so funny to me that I look at this picture and I laugh because I was trying to be Gladys Knight and the Pimp. I had 4 guys backgrounding me, you know, and I was like, what was I thinking?
Well, there's the things you do when you're young, don't you? You're not bothered, are you? You just go for it.
But they have that one on there. So, also, I got an 8-year-old picture of myself and my sister and a little group that I was in. So it's pictures you'll never see anywhere else.
So was this a nice experience putting the album together, and how long did it take you?
Oh, we've been working on it about a year. It was working with Rick again, Rick Hall again. We got 3 songs on there. And working with him again was great. It's just brought back so many memories. We had so much fun talking about old times and reminiscing. And it was just great. It was a great experience. Plus, I was there doing the shooting of Muscle Shoals, the movie. And I got in that through getting back with Rick. I'm like, timing is always so important. If I had not done the album, I don't know if I'd have been in the movie. So I'm blessed to be in that movie.
So what is the movie? Sorry, I haven't been briefed on this.
It's called Muscle Shoals.
Okay.
It's called Muscle Shoals, and it's about all of the singers, the artists that.
Oh, I have heard of this. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's all the artists that like Wilson Pickett and Aretha Franklin started there, and Etta James, and Clarence Carter, and Percy Sledge did his song there, When a Man Loves a Woman. And the Rolling Stones came into, it's just a little tiny city that nobody even knows about. It's just a tiny little country town. And all of this music comes out of it. And it's amazing. When people see it, it's like, wow, Bobby Gentry and all of them came down and did songs. And it was amazing what that city produced. And it even goes to show you that there were, in that time before the Civil Rights movement started, the people used to look at us like very strange because there were blacks and whites together, sitting down eating in restaurants. And they were like, what are you doing here? We don't do this here in Muscle Shoals. And Rick would stand up and says, can I help you? They were looking at us so funny. And Rick is he's verbal. So he said, do you want to know something? And they turned their head real quick and started back eating, And so we went through that. But it was really a great experience for me.
Great. So when is the album out again for everybody to know?
It's out May 13th. That's when we will release it. It'll be available on iTunes as well as in the stores.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for joining us on the show, Candi. It's been lovely to talk to you.